President and First Lady joined All Year's Night festivities. Wakenham now has a 24-hour power supply. Gaisuku employees are lauded for the company's 2014 performance, and the head of state says a renewed mandate from Guyanese will ensure the nation's continued development under his administration. We'll have the details of these and other presidential activities in this week's edition of the Diary for the period December 27, 2014 to January 2, 2015. I'm Paul McAdam. The island communities of Legwan and Wakenham in the Essequibo River now both possesses a 24-hour power supply provided by the Guyana Power and Light Company, the GPL. The Essequibo island of Wakenham formally joined its neighbor of Legwan with the commissioning of its 24-hour electricity service on December 31. Declaring the facility operational, President Ramatar said that given his long association with the community, it was a pleasure to be doing so. He noted that many things have been said about the role of electricity in development.
We cannot imagine to have a modern society without providing electricity to the citizens of a country. And Wakenham itself, as many of you know and you're aware of, has great potentials. It's an agricultural island known for its production of rice. At one time, it was famous in producing coconut oil, produced cattle, and many other products. The island has been blessed over the years with very, very talented farmers and hard-working people as a whole. And what is actually needed to help the development of the island is infrastructure so that the island can grow, because I am convinced that we do have the human capital to move the island forward.
The new continuous power supply will help to modernize the island and make life easier for residents, he added.
Particularly for our women folk, and allow our women in particular, and not confined to them, to have developed greater options to do with their time. They will now have a possibility of using more modern facilities to do some of the household chores that they have had to do for a long time. Like now washing clothes, they can use washing machines. They can use different things in their kitchens to ease the burden and the drudgery of housework that many have been subject to. And that will give them great possibilities.
Finding that the most important factor for development is the force of its people, the president said that government is focusing on developing the quality of its people, as this is what will advance Ghana's development.
Many countries with great natural resources still have huge poverty, but those that have a high level of education have been recording positive development and positive growth rate. And that is why our government has had as its priority from the very beginning the development of our social sector. One, it is where we spend our money that affects masses of people. If you look at our budgets over the years from 1993 to now, you will see that we have moved social expenditure from less than 8% of the budget in 1992 and a much, much smaller budget today to more than 30%, to increase our services in the vital areas of education, for instance.
It was noted that only 30% of the primary-age children could have attended secondary school back then due to a lack of classrooms and opportunity.
I've grown up with children who were extremely bright people who never had the opportunity of seeing themselves flourish and reaching their potential. Many of my friends have died in the Gold Bush from malaria, looking for their fortunes there. and others have fallen into the habit of drinking too much and turning alcoholic and dying or getting old prematurely. And these are some of the things that I live with every day, and some of the things that I would like to fight against, to see that other generations, regardless of their social status in the society, regardless of their economic circumstances, that they must have equal opportunity. And to give them that equal opportunity, we have to ensure that first and foremost, they have equal opportunity as far as education is concerned. And as the chairman of the region mentioned just now, that is not all, but to give them facilities similar to those in the urban areas so that they can study and they can perform.
There are plans on the way to link Wakenham with Leg 1, which recently commissioned a similarly upgraded system to ensure an even better power supply.
It is important not only because you will have the opportunity to watch television, because sometimes a lot of nonsense comes over the television as well, but because it will have the possibility of creating jobs. Look at this island, rich in fruits and vegetables, many of which has to be thrown away. You now can have entrepreneurs doing things to make juices, to create cottage industries, to create your own employment, and to create employment for other people, to diversify your own livelihood from only rice to doing other things within the society as well. It will help you also to probably develop your entertainment industry as well, where people can have more places to relax and to enjoy themselves. This too is important in developing the quality of life. And I ain't talking only about drinking rum. I'm talking also about cultural kind of activities that you can have, playing music, developing bands, and so forth, that helps to develop the quality of life within the society.
Residents were also urged to do their part with regards to ensuring the proper use of the new power supply for both islands. Government continues work towards ensuring the continued growth of the nation's economy. This was revealed by President Ramatar when he addressed residents at Leg 1 during the recent commissioning ceremony for the 24 hours power station. Government's expansion of the economy and the resultant years of consecutive growth have been as a result of prudent management, according to President Ramatar.
Over the last 2.5 years, our economy grew by some 25% in that period of time. In the same period of time, when some of our most important exports have been affected, things like gold production, the price of gold has gone down on the international market. The price of sugar was reduced from 2012, 2013 to this year. We had a drop in the international market by some 60%. We also have our challenges with rice in finding more markets, and also with prices in many of the markets that we find as well. And as you know, we battle every day with late payments to farmers. Yet, despite all of that, our economy has grown for the 9th successive year this year.
Speaking to residents of Wakenham, where he commissioned a new 24 hours power station, the president said that Ghana's economy is now broader based.
If sugar gets into trouble, the whole country gets into trouble. Or if bauxite gets into trouble, the whole country gets into trouble. Or if rice is in trouble, the whole country gets into trouble. We are beginning to immune ourselves and less dependent on 1, 2, or 3 products only. And we are moving much, much faster.
Mention was made of several key statistics for the country's economy.
Our GDP has grown from $75 billion to $666 billion today. Our GDP in US prices have moved from an economy of $525 million to $3.2 billion economy, a 505% increase. And our deposits, which reflects the life of our people who have money in the banks. Our deposits in the commercial banks have increased from 40 billion in 1994 to 340 billion today. Private sector credit, in order to help develop business that create jobs for our people. That's a major issue that we are tackling. Creating jobs, it has moved from $13.9 billion to $196.7 billion today. This shows that to achieve these things, that we had to have good governance in our society, good economic governance.
The president lamented the fact that many of the good things that occur are not publicized.
We will never see them because the newspapers represent interests that don't like us. One of the main newspapers represents an era that has passed in our country. Represent an era of the old rich who used to make decisions for our country over a bottle of whiskey at the Georgetown Club. They have lost that, and they never stopped blaming Chenny Jagan and the PPP because we fought for universal adult suffrage to give the ordinary man and woman the vote in this country to stop the nonsense that was taking place before then. And the other newspaper represents the new rich class, the class that got rich in the late 70s and 80s, when you could have gone to jail for having a loaf of bread in your possession, when you could have gone to jail for eating sardines, when you could have gone to jail for having split peas in your house or potatoes. There were people who were smuggling them in, and now they have a lot of money. They are the new rich in the society, but they don't have political power. And they want to put their hands on the state so that they can enrich themselves. And many of the things that they're accusing us of is an indication of what they themselves will do if given the opportunity of getting their hands on the state apparatus.
Ghana's economy is expected to reflect a further year of consecutive growth for 2014. Gaisuku employees are lauded for the company's 2014 performance after surpassing their production target. The ability of the Ghana Sugar Corporation to meet and exceed its 2014 production target was welcomed by President Ramatar.
At this point in time, the price of sugar on the international market has really declined sharply from $700 a ton last year to $300 a ton this year. So, but I think it's commendable. I want to commend the workers at Gaisuku and the management, the staff, for the efforts they have put in. And I think it bodes very well for the future, because as you know, the international markets are very volatile. And hopefully that in the year 2015, next year, the price will go up and Gaisuku can become stronger and stronger and make the great contribution that they have traditionally made to our country.
Gaisuku exceeded its target of 216,000 tons after grinding ceased for the recently concluded season on December 24, 2014. Gaisuku received a $6 billion bailout package from government as it moves to modernize and improve its efficiency. Guyanese will continue to benefit substantially from the Low Carbon Development Strategy program. Ghana is one of the few countries that is benefiting substantially from international stakeholders under the Low Carbon Development Strategy. This was revealed by President Ramatar during his New Year's address to the nation.
This year, Guyana received its fourth payment under its partnership, bringing the total earned so far to $150 million US. These earnings are being invested for both the social and economic betterment of all Guyanese. In 2014, under the LCDS, 25 Amerindian communities received full disbursements for their community development plans, totaling $125 million. Given this success, in September, we launched the next phase of this initiative, which is supporting development in an additional 161 communities with an investment of over $1.2 billion.
President Ramatar added that under the LCDS, resources continue to be dedicated to land titling so that Amerindian communities can benefit. The flagship of the LCDS is the Amalia Falls Hydropower Project.
I am pleased to announce that Norway has transferred earnings from our partnership of approximately $80 million to the Inter-American Development Bank to fund part of Guyana's equity share in the project. This is a significant accomplishment. It demonstrates that all partners have strong confidence in Amalia. The project is once again moving forward.
2015 will see the breaking of new development grounds under the LCDS, according to the President.
We will launch initiatives targeted at flood prevention, dealing with both coastal community drainage systems and the larger conservancies. We will catalyze the ecotourism sector through several interventions so that Guyanese can more fully take advantage of our country's natural and cultural assets. In addition, we will advance work on a biodiversity center that will showcase Guyana's unique biodiversity to the world and to our school children, some of whom have not had the opportunity to travel to many parts of the interior.
You're watching The Diary, where we have been recapping the highlights of the country's president's weekly activities. More after the break.
To ease traffic congestion along the East Bank Highway, which is a critical thoroughfare for accessing the city, plans are afoot to construct a new bypass linkage from Eccles to Diamond. Additionally, the feasibility study for the East Coast East Bank Bypass Road has been completed, and government will be examining how to advance this huge project. Pensioners will enjoy a 50% increase in assistance, bringing it to $30,000 per annum for pensioners who are customers of the Guyana Power and Light Company Incorporated. Further, old age pension is to be increased by 5% with effect from May 1, 2014 to $13,125 monthly, targeting the 42,500 senior citizens.
The Amalia Falls Hydropower Project is essential for a vibrant manufacturing sector. Under the flagship of the LCDS, Norway has transferred earnings from its partnership with Guyana, amounting to some $80 million to the Inter-American Development Bank to fund a part of Guyana's equity share in the project. High amongst the priorities will be ensuring the achievement of more affordable and more reliable energy. Government will deliver the Amalia Falls Hydropower Project along with all of its attendant benefits. It is expected that there will be an achievement of financial closure and commencement of the construction of this project during 2015. A message from the Government Information Agency. In an effort to respond more promptly to citizens, the Home Affairs Ministry has launched an online crime reporting system which allows citizens who possess or have access to cell phones, computers, or other devices with internet connections to report criminal activities. Citizens can get instant access to security personnel on BlackBerry Messenger via 280-4E429. Reports of corruption can also be made on www.ipaidthebribe.com. These reports can be made anonymously. Guyana is set to achieve the goal set by the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF of universal birth registration by 2015. The General Register Office has launched an intensive campaign. It has decentralized its services to specifically cater to the needs of residents living in the interior location. Bedside registration is also done in several public hospitals. There are now 200 registration centers operating in the 10 regions. Citizens are urged to ensure that all births are registered. President Ramatar emphasized the need for Guyanese people to give his administration the mandate to continue the nation's development. This call was made during his address to the nation to mark the start of 2015.
We need a mandate to continue the progress that we have started that has brought our country such a far way from what it was 2 decades ago. With an opposition that has displayed a remarkable anti-developmental tendency, it is important that we regain the majority in the National Assembly to ensure continued social and economic progress. As I have said on many previous occasions, the foundation has been laid for a brighter tomorrow for all Guyanese. With a renewed mandate, my government pledges to sustain and build on the gains we have already made as a country. We will continue to invest heavily in the physical infrastructure that is so critical to creating jobs and improving livelihoods.
High on the government's agenda will be the harnessing of Guyana's vast hydropower potential.
The time for realizing this dream is long overdue. Unreliable and unaffordable electricity continues to be the biggest impediment to investment and job creation in Guyana. My government will deliver the Amaila Falls hydropower project to the Guyanese people, along with all its attendant benefits. Within months, we expect to achieve financial close and commence construction, and this project will come into operation during our new term in office. We will also continue to expand our roads and bridges network, including to ensure greater access to our geographic neighbors. During the next term of office, my government will work with our partners to bridge the Quarantine River and to complete the road from Brazil, along with their company in Deepwater Harbor. We will also improve ease of movement within our borders by upgrading the major hinterland arteries and widening our major coastal highways. Within our towns and villages, rehabilitation and upgrading of our urban and community roads will continue apace, all with the aim of improving access.
There will be a renewed focus on service quality.
Every Guyanese citizen will enjoy access to world-class primary health care, and our young people will receive an education that will prepare them to compete with the best of the rest of the world. Every Guyanese family will be able to afford their own home and have access to all the ancillary services that are normally available in residential communities. We will work hard and invest heavily to ensure that our communities are safer and that our crime fighting and prevention capabilities are strengthened. Relevant initiatives will include legislative reform in support of crime fighting, upgrading the capacity of the police force, stronger use of technology and forensic science, and tackling the root causes of crime. At the heart of all of these developments will be our aim to improve the quality of life enjoyed by every Guyanese citizen. Opportunities will be created for every person to find gainful employment and to acquire the skills necessary to take up those opportunities.
The push to have all Guyanese computer literate was also stressed by the President.
Everyone can assume their rightful place in the modern technology-driven world. We will continue to improve the economic environment, working harder to make Guyana an even more attractive place for doing business, and to incentivize investors to establish and expand operations here. This will help to grow our economy, broaden our revenue base, improve our fiscal capacity to meet the needs of our people, and reinforce our economic resilience. For all this to happen, a clear mandate will be needed. Given the political conditions, I anticipate that my Guyanese brothers and sisters will be called upon in the near future to exercise a choice that will be so critical to determining the path our country will follow in the years to come. The future of our country will be decided by the manner in which that choice is made, whether our country is to continue to progress in the way it has in recent years, or whether it is to regress to the dark days of the past. I have every confidence that the Guyanese people will choose the path of progress.
The head of state closed by wishing all a Happy New Year and every success in 2015. The start of 2015 was marked with an impressive fireworks display. Head of State President Donald Ramotar and First Lady Deolashmi Ramotar ushered in the new year, witnessing a dazzling display of fireworks that illuminated the night sky over the Ghana Defense Forces GDF base, Camp Ayangana. The head of state and his wife were joined by Prime Minister Samuel Hines, his wife Yvonne Hines, and senior government, military and joint services officers, along with their spouses who gathered at the officers' mess for the forces' Old Year's Night Ball. After witnessing the stunning fireworks display from their vantage point at the officers' mess, the first couple stopped by at the senior non-commissioned officers' ball in the same base. That ball was a hive of activity, and the president and his wife took the opportunity to show their moves to several popular songs, much to the ranks' pleasure. The first couple was then whisked away to the Ghana Police Force's officers' mess, Ivleri, where along with Prime Minister Samuel Hines and his wife, they interacted with senior ranks and danced. After spending close to an hour at the police headquarters, the president and his wife visited several of the parties being held at popular night spots across the city, enjoying the scene until the wee hours of the morning with other partygoers. For the president, it was a rare occasion to relax before what will be a hectic year as he leads his political party into early general and regional elections. More of the diary after this break.
Pensioners will enjoy a 50% increase in assistance, bringing it to $30,000 per annum for pensioners who are customers of the Guyana Power and Light Company Incorporated. Further, old age pension is to be increased by 5% with effect from May 1, 2014 to $13,125 monthly, targeting the 42,500 senior citizens.
In an effort to respond more promptly to citizens, the Home Affairs Ministry has launched an online crime reporting system which allows citizens who possess or have access to cell phones, computers, or other devices with internet connections to report criminal activities. Citizens can get instant access to security personnel on BlackBerry Messenger via 280-4E429. Reports of corruption can also be made on www.ipaidthebribe.com. These reports can be made anonymously.
The Amalia Fault Hydropower project is essential for a vibrant manufacturing sector. Under the flagship of the LCDS, Norway has transferred earnings from its partnership with Guyana, amounting to some $80 million to the Inter-American Development Bank to fund a part of Guyana's equity share in the project. High amongst the priorities will be ensuring the achievement of more affordable and more reliable energy. Government will deliver the Amalia Fault Hydropower project along with all of its attendant benefits. It is expected that there will be an achievement of financial closure and commencement of the construction of this project during 2015. A message from the Government Information Agency.
Ghana is set to achieve the goal set by the United Nations Children's Fund UNICEF of universal birth registration by 2015. The General Register Office has launched an intensive campaign. It has decentralized its services to specifically cater to the needs of residents living in the interior location. Bedside registration is also done in several public hospitals. There are now 200 registration centers operating in 10 regions. Citizens are urged to ensure that all births are registered.
That's all in this week's diary for the period December 27, 2014 to January 2, 2015. Before we go, these were some of the highlights. President and First Lady joined Old Year's Night festivities. Wikenham now has a 24-hour electricity power supply. Gaisuka employees are lauded for the company's 2014 performance. And the head of state says a renewed mandate from Guyanese will ensure the nation's continued development under his administration. Do join us again for the next program when we will bring you more of the President's activities. I'm Paul McAdam, thanking you for watching us. For more information, please contact us via email or visit our website.